how well can Welt sustain against the meme? Well, this is a team with no sustain, so let's see how his sustaining capabilities can help the entire team survive while also outputting enough damage to be able to do this in a respectable, I think about 3 cycle clear. Anyways, we are going to be boosting everybody forward with Dance Dance Dance, applying Benediction to Welt. Bronya is hyper speed, so she is going to be on a basic skill rotation. It could be improved so that Ranmei actually goes before Welt here, although you don't want Ranmei to be going twice in this action because you want the MOC buff to be able to take out the enemies. That way we just get 1 extra turn of the ult. Now, hopefully, we do kind of wish that the left guy would get broken there. That way we don't have to worry about these adjacent guys to, get hit with a bounce of Welt's skill. But sometimes unfortunate things do happen. And now, with this ult, we're just trying to make sure we get enough damage on the 2 main elites so that this MOC buff does take it out. Perfect. Now, since we skilled with Tingyun on her 3rd action, she gets her ult up once more, which is perfect. So now, instead of going the basic skill, we're actually going to go for a basic skill here because we have all the buffs on Welt, and we do want to make sure that we can take advantage of the damage boost on Welt's ult. Great, so now he does have the vulnerability, and now he has the speed debuff, so this is important so that way we can actually get rid of the first bar before he's able to do his snatchy snatch thing. Yep, so here we are going to basic, that way we get Welt's action once before we get our 2nd boosted turn. Now unfortunately Welt got hit there. If the meme does decide to hit our 2 tankiest units, Bronya and Ranmei, then we're super healthy and super safe. That's some respectable damage for the ult, and now this skill hopefully will get enough of the health down so that way the MOC buff once again takes out the rest of this health bar. Perfect. Now I screwed up here. I was trying to pop that ult immediately because I didn't want Ranmei's turn to start because I wanted the buffs to stay, so unfortunately this lost its buffs, which was a misplay on my part, but that's a timing thing. Now note, once you do go past the first cycle, or wave rather, no it is cycle, you don't get the same amount of action value, so even though we're basicing with Bronya, we're not going to be able to get 2 skills before the wave finishes, or the cycle finishes, because it's only 100 action value compared to the 150 from the first. Wonderful, so we'll get a little bit of another action push. So we're trying to delay the steal thing as much as possible. Now, ideally, we'd actually kill it right here, but I couldn't get enough damage, so we are going to have to accept the fact that 2 of our characters are now gone. Luckily, they are pretty healthy, so now we're just going to chip away at the one who is imprisoning Welt, or stealing him, or I don't even know what the adjective is for what that thing is doing to Welt, but it doesn't really matter too much. Now that it's weakness broken, we don't even have to hit it 5 times, so perfect. Now we'll just buff up everybody, and then Welt's ult should pretty much wipe everything else out. And if it doesn't, then we still have a couple more actions before we can take any real damage. Perfect, so now this is one more Bronya action within the cycle, so if for some reason we weren't able to get enough damage, then now there's pretty much no question. So instead of being a 4 cycle, this will just stop at 3, which is relatively nice. Goodbye meme. Thank you, Welt. Now, Welt is 80 over 130. I did prioritize his crit rate because we're not using Yukong in this run. The Musketeer does help for the speed boost, just in case you don't have too many subs on a couple, random things. Now, he is E4. Note that the E4 is useless. The E3 just gives him a boost to the skill, which I left at level 8, so pretty much he is E2. That is the Welt that we're running. So 180 break effect with 30 effect res. That way she does proc Keel, and that's pretty much a relatively perfect Ranmei, if you ask me, for this circumstance. 170 Bronya, although she can actually be slower because we are running Dance Dance Dance. So if you're running Dance 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 and Ranmei, I do believe the Bronya speed requirement goes down to, I think, 161 if I'm not mistaken, maybe 164. So much easier to actually build that that Bronya who goes 3 times in one cycle. But that is the run. I love Welt so much. Welt is such a fun character to use. I'm so happy that pretty much 75% of my 50-50s have been lost to Welt because I don't even have 3 of the standard characters. Everything has been Welt. Would I kill for 1 extra Bronya so that way I can activate her E2 and actually get that speed boost? Because once you get that speed boost on Bronya, she arguably has like a certain versatility that is just crazy, because then you can actually have your character go once more in between the pushes of Bronya, so you can have up to like 4 or 5 actions on your DPS if you speed tune it correctly. So if I get an E2 Bronya at some point, then I will be activating that, so that way I can have some fun with those speed tuning comps, because I've seen some runs with E2 Bronya, and especially with Jingliu, for example, because she needs that extra turn to be able to get into her syzygy state or whatever. It is super, super good. So, but Welt, once again, technique, super busted, ult, super busted. His damage is just such, like, a overlooked, and maybe it's not overlooked, because I don't really think Welt's underrated. Everybody loves Welt. I love Welt. So Welt's just great. Welt's just great. So if you have any other suggestions, any team comps maybe you want me to play around with, I am curious. I am interested in going a little bit away from the 0 cycles and kind of just focusing on maybe some more interesting comps. Obviously, this one wasn't too original. It's pretty much just a triple harmony, but I did want to see just how well Welt could, beat MLC 12 while also, not having a sustain. So he's sustaining himself while also being the damage dealer of the team. So once again, thank you. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. Thank you. Adios.